make plans and then go after it, right? And so I like the way that he's comparing this to sales, that you can't just get up and then go and then say anything or do anything and then expect to have a sale, right? He talks about how they know what they are saying, right? They know their opening sentence. They know the kind of sentence that will make the person who they are going to sell to really be like, wow, tell me more, or something like that. So I think that from him, the key thing is that we need to be
Hello, Irene. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
I think we lost
Yeah.
Irene then. All right. But they were all making some good points. I don't know why when their point is coming, then the link will disappear. All right. Abdul, how are you? It's been ages. Can you hear me?
Yeah, Doc, I can hear you. Can you hear me too?
Yes, I can hear you. Good. All right. Have you started the book already?
Oh yes. I think this is my second time reading this book, so um, I think I know some of the points, but I've started. I'm around chapter 2. Yeah.
Wonderful. So tell us something.
Okay. All right. So I remember when I started network marketing. This book actually changed everything because I was 3 months into the business, and most of my team members, they left, and it's because you know they never had the chance to read this book. So I realized that I was still in the business because I read this book and it changed everything about my business. And network marketing is more of sales. So after reading this book, I realized that okay, most of the rich people, the wealthy people, they are all sales people. And before you can make some money, you have to sell something, right? Yeah. So, and in the beginning, he started by telling us the reason why we need to get into sales. And he said about 74% of the millionaires, self-made millionaires, are salespeople. They are entrepreneurs, and you can't become a good entrepreneur without going into sales. In Africa, yeah, we look down on sales. I'm in Odan, and the richest people in Odan here, they are the market people, those who sell in the markets. They are not the bankers, the teachers, the civil servants. They are the market people, those who sell the tomatoes, money, and those stuff. Yeah, so I realized that yeah, sales is everything. Yes, and the chapter 1 is talks about the inner game of selling, right? And here he was trying to tell us that you have to, before you can make any sale, you have to imagine it. You have to you see it in your mind that okay, this sale is a done deal, right? Yes, and it's yeah. Hello, can you hear me?
Abdul, we can hear you. I think that like Kelvin is awful, but we can hear you.
Okay, all right. So we just started admission, with the new form ones that are coming to school. And there are two colleagues of mine who sell calculators, at the admission premises. They sell it to the parents of the students coming. And there's one guy who makes a lot of sales every day. In fact, he can sell like 2 boxes in a day. And there's one guy who doesn't sell anything, sometimes one or two calculators. So I called him. I'm actually the one supplying them the calculator. So I called him. I was like, you seem to be doing the business. Wow. And he told me one thing. I said, Chairman, I didn't know you had the money. I mean, who said, my tongue, every. So when I read this point, I was like, okay, this is true. The guy has imagined the sales as a done deal. Like he has already sold the calculators already. So definitely by the close of the day, he's going to make the sale. He's going to sell all the calculators. So, he's trying to tell us that we have to see the sale as, okay, this thing is a done deal. And I'm going to, make the sale no matter what, right? And he also talks about follow, said follow the leaders or something. Yeah, he said follow the leaders, and he was trying to say that in any industry, right? If you want to be in the 10%, like those who are earning the most money, you have to look for one person in the top 10 and model their life, Yes. And, even it relates to every industry. Yes. There's this story about Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant and how he became a great person. Now, when he started NBA, he wanted to be in the top 10. So he started modeling his mentor's lifestyle. That is Michael Jordan. And when there are videos on YouTube that you see Kobe practicing the same, moves that Michael Jordan was, practicing, you understand? And eventually became one of the greatest of all, NBA players. And this applies to every industry. So if you are into sales and you want to become one of the top 10 people or one of the top 4%, you have to look for someone who is already there, who is doing good, and model his life, his lifestyle. Do what they do it, and put in the 10,000 hours, right? And definitely you're going to get there. Yes. And the last thing I'll touch on is the fear of failure, right? Yes. And he spoke about that. And he said most salespeople they start and they quit along the way because of fear of failure, right? And we all feel it at a point. If you have ever been in sales before, you realize that no, sometimes you are so scared that there are people are going to tell you no, but it's part of the process. And he tells you that sales is a learnable skill, right? Most CEOs. He gave an example of the CEO of is the CEO of, I've forgotten it's one of the biggest company. She started as a salesperson, right? And so you can learn all these skills. You can learn sales even though you don't know anything about it, right? And definitely you face, rejection, but you still have to keep on, pushing and definitely become a good salesperson, and you're going to make a lot of money. Yes. So I just started the goal setting one, and when I'm done with it, hopefully next week I'll share more on that. So thank you. Over to you, Irene.
I'm back. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened to my connection. I have to switch to my phone personally. It's always good to have backup. All right. So yes, Thank you very much for sharing. I mean, as for modeling, you see, that's the whole point of mentorship. Mentorship makes it easier for you to achieve certain things because indeed, like everybody has a goal. I mean, ideally, everybody should have a goal, and your goal is to get somewhere, right? Now, whoever you are trying to get to, there's somebody already there. So what's the best thing to do? Just ask the person, how did you get there? And I mean, that's that, and that makes life very easy. I mean, in my opinion, if there's somebody who is at the place you are getting to, it's so easy to find your way there. So I don't know why we find it so difficult, adopting mentors. I don't know if it's a culture or something, but anyway, well, let's see. I mean, it's something that we definitely have to promote, and I hope that at least those of us here, I mean, we are doing that. We have mentors ourselves, and we are mentoring others as well. I mean, because it is definitely going to be beneficial to everybody. All right, we have some people joining us. We have Augustine Derry joining us. We have Joy Adepa joining us. I'm very excited, Charlie. Very excited. I hope they started the book. I think I know Augustine has read it. I don't know about Joy, but Augustine, what do you have anything to share with us this morning? First of all, you're welcome.
Thank you very much. I'm excited to be here. I read this book a bit long ago, but I think that I can still remember a few key points. I don't know if they have been shared already, but maybe I'll just go through one or two. First of all, one thing that I learned from the book is to be very clear about what you want, and being clear about what you want, or like how far you want to go, require that you sit down, write down everything that you want to do. What I learned from reading that is that sometimes we assume that we know what we want until we are told to share it or say it. So the art of trying to verbalize it or trying to put it on picture will really, really make you think through what you want to do. It will help you to refine your thoughts, and then to help you to, get things clearly. Because when you know where you want to go, where the focal point is, then you can go. The next thing is, most of the times, what will slow down or influence our speed when it comes to succeeding is our internal environment, if I should call it. So, like the way you see your self-esteem. They mentioned something called a financial thermostat. I hope if I remember it correctly, it's not from another book. But in a financial thermostat, he says that you cannot earn more than what you feel or think on the inside. So if you think that you are worth 1,000 cedis, that's just about how much you can sell. If per chance or by mistake you meet someone, you make a sale that goes more than the 1,000 cedis, maybe you make a 15,000 cedi sale, it may help you. But if that's not a regular, you gradually come back down. You think you have overperformed, and then you come back down to the 1,000 cedis one day that your mind is used to. So if you do not work on your inner self, it'll be very difficult for you to move forward. And then there's this, Kelvin, I remember you posted something. That particular page just changed so much about me. Even in my workplace, in my practice, I'm an optometrist, by the way. And that is what is called a winning edge. Where, Kelvin, before I bore you, has that been shared already?
No, it has not. Not today.
Oh, okay, not today. All right, then maybe I can end on that point. There are many other points, but I think I can end on that point. In a winning edge, what I learned was that when maybe horses are going on a race, and then at the end of the race, there's a first horse, there's a second horse, there's a third horse, there's a last horse. The first horse may get the winning prize, the prize for winning. It could be, say, 15,000 cedis. But the difference between the first horse and then the second horse's price is quite significant. let's assume that the first horse may get about 4 times the price for the second horse than the second horse. If we check the time difference between the first horse and the second horse, it may even be a split second. It may be less than a second. But the first horse got the prize, and the first horse is in terms of money earns 4 times more. In the same way in business, sometimes it's the little things that count that make us better. So the first horse is not necessarily 1 minute or 4 minutes faster than the second horse. He could just be a second better, or just a tip of a nose better. But he would get more money than the second horse or the third horse. You'd realize that. So things like maybe your appearance, things like the knowledge of your product, things, you just find out, in essence, just find out what your competitors or people around you are doing, and try and do just a little better than them each time. Just a little. That's all that is required for you to make more money. Because when you are always ahead, you can be far ahead, but when you are at, what you need is just a nose better each time. So this is where I'll rest it for now. What I remember, I'll go back, and I don't know if this is the same book we were tackling. I'll go and refresh my memory.
Yes. Thank you very much. That winning edge thing is actually quite deep. I mean, it really doesn't take much to be the number one. I mean, it just takes a little extra effort, just a little, the tip of a nose, as you said. And yes, so this is the book we are going to be reading for the next, I think, two or 3 weeks. So yeah, we are still on this book. Today we are discussing chapters 1 to 3, and then the next Saturday is chapter 4 to 6, and then we wrap it up. I think it's only 8 chapters, so we wrap it up the week after. So that's 3 weeks, and then we are done. I mean, but it's going to be 3 weeks of power and 3 weeks of condensed information. So we are hoping to decipher it, break it down, and then most importantly apply to our lives, because that's what makes the difference. Acquiring the knowledge is just acquired. You have just acquired the knowledge. It is only when you actually apply it that it begins to make a difference. So that's the whole idea. Our aim is to get the knowledge and then apply it to our lives. So if we are not applying it, we are wasting our time. So that's for now. So yeah, thank you very much for guesting, for sharing about the winning edge and the other things. I mean, there's a lot of information in this book. I mean, I won't lie. The fact that the fear of rejection. There was a portion that I read and I was like, this one too. He says that so customers the fear of failure. He talked about the fear of failure in the perspective of the salesperson. Then he went on to talk about the fear of failure from the perspective of the customer. And I'm like, how? What do you mean by the customer also has a fear of failure? Why? But it actually did make a lot of sense, because customers have made, and I'm reading from the book, every customer has made countless buying mistakes. He has purchased services that he later found were overpriced. He has bought products that broke down and that he could not get repaired. He has been sold things that he did not want and could not use and could not afford. He has been burned so many times in sales experiences that he is like a long-tailed cat in a room full of rocking chairs, And so that customer also is afraid that whatever you are selling him or her will not work. And so the lesson from here is that the fear of failure works both ways. And so if you want to be a good salesperson, you have to be able to address the fear of failure. Well, you have to overcome your fear of failure, because on your side, it's really a numbers game. 80%, 20% of your sales will give you 80% of the results you're looking for. And so how big is your 20%? That's the most important thing. So, I mean, if you're able to talk to enough people, in terms of numbers, you will definitely overcome that fear of failure by selling to some of them, a few of them, and then getting the returns to compensate for the effort that didn't yield results. So that one is internal. You have to fight that fight yourself. So you wake up in the morning, you tell yourself, I'm going to do it. I'm the best at this. I'm the best at, and then you step out. But in improving your outcome, you need to also address it from the customer's perspective. He or she has been burned so many times. He has bought products that didn't work. So what's the guarantee that yours is going to work? And this is where I don't know if I read this book a long while ago, so I really don't know. I don't remember much of it. So it's a good revision for myself. But that's where you need to they say stories sell and then facts tell. So you're not just going to be bombarding the person with the fact that 90% of your customers have done this and 90% of this and that. You want to tell him a compelling story about how somebody used the product or somebody used your service and got this result. And if possible, show them actual testimonials, among other things. But I'm sure that information will come later. But for me, it was quite revealing that the fear of failure also applies on the customer side as well. I don't know if anybody else experienced that or anybody else has anything they want to add. And we have Lolonyo, we have Abdul, Irene. Let's wrap this up. Let's bring this home. Any additional information that we can pick from the first 3 chapters?
I think for me, what you're saying about the testimonials right now, I also came across it where he was saying that he asked customers for different testimonials, and then sometimes, even if they were busy, he'd basically write the letter for them and then let them endorse it for him on their letterhead because he understood the importance of customer testimonials. So that for me was another important reminder. I was like, okay, so maybe I've not been using testimonials enough. Maybe I've been trying to get like information. But it was a great reminder that customers also want to see that the product has worked for other people. So then, okay, so even in my world, what can I do to, to maybe pile up testimonies, or to have, I don't know, links to testimonies or something, so that in case other people want to have that thing, I think it's called social proof or something, I don't know, right? But then basically that they'll be able to see that the products or whatever we are selling has worked for somebody. So yeah, I also noted that. And maybe the last thing that I'll add is I liked how he emphasized being really intentional about what we are doing as salespeople. Where he spoke about being creative, and then basically that if we are really to ask ourselves each day that what can we do to make our sales process better? What can we do to make the process better for the customers? We are not enough questions, because they say that if every day we have to wake up and then ask ourselves, what are 20 things I can do today to make my sales process better? He says definitely we'll come up with 20 ideas. And even if we implement one of them, we'll end up in the top part of the profession. So imagine that each and every day we to take our notebook and write 20. I mean, definitely we'll be in the top, right? So as we've been saying, that the knowledge is there, we have to find ways to implement. Even if we begin with writing 5, right? I guess that we'll definitely get new ways to build trust. And then, of course, in the process, to be able to rise to the top of our sales profession. And then, yes, we also get our reward from God and man. Yeah, so that's what I'd like to help with.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Lolonyo, any final words?
I think I'll just continue from where you guys have started with a testimonial thing. Everyone, it seems everyone needs a testimonial. When you come to the organizational sector, that's the same thing as the reference. You are made to provide reference because your current employer wants to know that what you are not just all about the talks. So you provide the reference and they follow up with the reference, call the person, interview the person on what you've actually stated in your CV to know if it's actually true, or question them about some of the things that you said during the interview. How you said, oh, you were able to hit this target, you're able to hit that target. Yeah. So everybody in a one way or the other wants proof. You look at the church setting, for instance. Why do we give testimonies of what God has done in church? It's just to prove that what is written in the Bible or what the pastor preaches every Sunday actually works in our lives. And some people see the evidence of it in their lives. So for the fear, it's true that it's on both sides. We both, that's the customer and then the business person has to work on it, because for me to money is let me quote in quotes, money is hard earned. So if I'm giving my money out, I want a good stuff for it. I remember some time ago I bought is it a straightener? And then I think it wasn't high quality. So after 1 or 2 uses, then it started messing up. So the next time I was going to get a straightener, I was skeptical because I didn't want the what happened in the first time to happen again, because the first time it was good, like it appeared to be good quality, like it was brand new and everything, but then maybe if you after 1 or 2 uses, so what's the proof that this looking so attractive and good in the beginning won't end up the same way? So the fear is from both ends. We both have to really rigorously work on its presentation of whatever. And I think I came across that in the book, how to alleviate the fear of the customer before, like try to convince the customer in a tactical way before you are able to sell to the person, or before the person is able to part with his or her money. Yeah, so that's one thing worth noting and worth working on.
Awesome. Thanks a lot. And testimonies are needed everywhere. Thank you for sharing. Abdul, any final words?
Yeah, can you hear me, Doc?
Yes.
Okay, so I will touch on the testimonies thing, and this is a practical experience. I had this customer who was also a patient, and this is someone who is so skeptical, about buying a product, So, and I think it took her about 3 months for her to make a purchase. So what I did was to connect her to an old customer who has had an improvement, after using our product. And just after the conversation, she bought the product and started using it. So with the testimonies thing, it's really true. It's really magic, yeah. So we can use it to get more people to buy from us. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Augustine, any final word?
Yeah, hello.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, final words. I also remember early that how you relate to your customer would influence their buying decision. Apart from the selling, like if the person is you make the person your friend. Because sometimes this is how I put it. In the area of friendship, people may let their guards down in terms of being judgmental. When they may not get too angry, they may be a bit more expressive. People buy from people they like. Sometimes not necessarily just about the product only, but the fact that they like this person. Even me, I would go to a barber I like. I would go to a market woman I like. So yeah, these are my final submission.
So basically, you have to work on your people skills if you want to be a good salesperson. Yeah. So, and it confirms that nothing good comes easy. I mean, if you think that you can just, swing a wand and everything will be well, Charlie, forget. It's not going to be possible. So you need to work at it. You need to be consistent. You need to be trustworthy. You need to sell good products. The fact that you've got the skills and the people and you've got the people skills and you've got the credibility does not mean you should sell as junk, because you are equally accountable to the rest of us. Because if you sold junk to somebody, then it means that person's fear of failure would increase and then give me a tough time when I'm not trying to sell a good thing. So we need to all be accountable to our customers. All right, thank you very much. Today has been another installment of the WealthCreators Book Club, and I'm happy that all of you are able to join us and share such immense knowledge with us. But as I keep saying, I do hope that we are going to apply all these things that we are picking up, so that it's going to indeed make a difference in our lives first. Because when it makes a difference in our lives, then those around us will see that difference, and they will want to be like us and will also pick up their books and start reading. That's the whole point of what we are doing here, to try and encourage people to read, because there's a lot of knowledge in these books out there. So thank you very much for joining us this morning. We are still continuing with this book next week. Next week we're going to tackle chapters 4, 5, and 6, and then we'll wrap it up with chapter 7 and 8 the week after. So let's go out and have a fabulous weekend and a productive week ahead. Have a fabulous day, guys. Stay blessed. Signing out.
Bye. You too.
Bye.
Bye.